Hey, good evening, everyone, and you're welcome to today's episode of Amdo's podcast. Today, we're going to be discussing whether tech is really paying. You know how they talk about tech is being the oil money. There's money in tech. Tech is the new oil. Tech is the new this. Today, we're discussing is there really money in tech or is it just a hype? Okay. And today we have a very special guest. He will introduce himself shortly. But first, thank you so much for joining in. But before we get into it, let me give you guys a quick rundown. Amdoranalytics is running a 90% discount on all of our courses. If you don't already know, you are missing out big time. And tomorrow is the deadline. Okay, so if you're watching this after March 27th, I'm sorry, the scholarship are closed. If you're paying attention, you'll be able to apply. But feel free to send us a message when you watch it. All right, so Titi, sorry, can you please introduce yourself?
All right, evening guys. My name is Titiloye, and I am the IT guy for QTech Nigeria Limited in Abuja.
Thank you. Is that all you want to say? You don't want to go into your background.
Mm,
Okay.
That's particular to this podcast, right? So,
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for joining in. We're so happy to have you here. So I like to
yes.
ask people how they got into tech. So can you give us your backstory? How did you get into tech? What was it for you? What made you go, okay, let me do tech?
Well, what made me go into tech was basically a desire from childhood. I was exposed to the computer right as far back as 2010. We had a computer at home, so I just started playing around with the computer. And when I gained admission into the university around 2018 as FUT Mina, that's Federal University of Technology Mina. So I had friends whom are into tech already. So we became acquainted and we started learning this programming stuff. Although it's not easy like that, but however, the progress is really, really visible. Yeah, it's visible.
I like that. Thank you. So when you hear tech pays well, because I'm pretty sure you've heard that too, right? When you hear tech pays well, what does that actually mean to you?
Well, there's no fallacy in that. That's absolute. Tech really pays well. But then I have a friend. He usually say tech money is blood money, but the blood money is not somebody else's blood. It is your blood. Your eye will see shaky. So it is your own blood. Yeah. So there's money. There's actually money in tech. However, before you get there, it's a very, very long procedure, process, and stages. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So do you think people are chasing tech for passion for money right now? Because we have a lot of people going into tech. Are they going in for money or is it?
Well, I would like to understand this question in a way of we need to narrow it down to sections, regions, and belief, right? Now, for Nigerians, I will be honest with you, we are into tech because of the money, not the passion, right? And you understand the economical state of the country. So I am going to say, let's be measurable in terms of this discussion right now. 80% of Nigerians are into tech because of the money, not the passion, right? Now, for the other region, I can say maybe the Western world, I can say maybe 60% of them are into tech because of the passion. Then the remaining 40 are either maybe they just feel they need to do it because their friend, colleagues, acquaintances are into tech. But however, for Nigeria, I would say 80% of us are into tech because of the money. That's just no passion there, honestly.
So you are salaries that they are telling us.
That's just the truth. That's just the truth. We are into tech just for the money. Passion is different. Although I've seen two of my friends who are into tech because of the passion. But others I can say categorically. But not I in inclusion because I grew up using the computer, so I don't think it's because of the money. And I've come to realize that without this computer, I don't think I'll be working anywhere. So I don't think in my own case it's because of the money. because I never even started see the money.
Okay, fair enough. So what's the best that you think that people believe about tech salaries? Yes, like
Well, tech salary is actually mouth-watering. It is huge. But for those that are experts and senior level, you know, if you are in intermediate level, junior level, I am not sure. I can't guarantee. More importantly, if you are working for a Nigerian startup or a company, you will barely earn little above the minimum wage in Nigeria. But then, if you are in mid-level or above, you are going to see, regardless of the company, right? Now, in terms of categorizing these tech stages, junior level, entry level, junior level, mid, and senior, right? For the entry level, you're just like an intern starting. Then for the junior level, you are like after your training, you are 2 years into the program, right? And for the mid-level, according to my boss, whom I worked with in Lagos, he said for the mid-level, you have to be 4 years in already, not internship. 4 years, that's medium level, like mid-level, right? And for the senior level, from 5 years and above, 7 years, then that's when you can say, okay, senior level. That's the category for the tech roles and stages.
so essentially there's money in tech, but you have to be a senior to earn it.
Well, it depends on the company. Like I say, for Nigerian, if you are working with a startup and you are junior level or an entry level, you can't earn so much Nigerian. But there are other companies, um, I mean, foreign companies that pay entry level, junior level, mad amount of money. Yeah, that's it. Because startups in Nigeria are mostly struggling.
Well, fair enough.
Yes,
Um, we're Nigerians, we don't get funded as other people do. If you have
absolutely,
that,
absolutely.
so for you, when your first real tech, when did you experience it? Or have you experienced tech money? Have you?
No, I prefer not to speak on that.
Okay, fair enough. But my next question would be: have you ever felt underpaid in tech, and how did you navigate?
Well, I, like I say, I have never jumped process during the course of my learning. I learn following the process. I don't jump process because I have engaged in a lot of training programs and internship. So I have come to realize that even if you jump a process, you would still fall back to it. So I have worked with startup and I was really, really underpaid. But however, my focus was my learning, the experience. At the end of the day, even if you were paid a huge amount of money, when there is need for evidence, like proof of work, like proof of experience, can you show it off? Can you be boastful that this is what I've been able to do? So I worked with a startup and I wasn't really, really paid, but I had a real-time experience and it was really, really helpful.
So you were getting values, but not like financial value. That's
Yeah,
that experience is good because experience will bump you into your big next paycheck since you don't tell us if you experience tech money. Okay, so what do you think that people on that tech, especially people that are just entering, what would you what would you say they estimate?
like well, I'm going to be particular about Nigerians. They underestimate
Nigerians now.
me Nigerians, so I can't talk about.
At the beginning, Nigerians. Now Nigerians. Oh, release us now. Who
I
did we
can't.
offend?
I'm a Nigerian, so invariably I'm talking about myself also.
Yeah.
So well, I use X a lot, so I see the tech space. I see what I would say. Honestly, we are not really, really driven by. the passion for tech. You are just driven by the financial benefits of tech. Now, I have real-time experience in this regard because I worked with an HR firm before I stopped working with them. So I realized that the company I had, like, they recruited for the outsource, like the company helped other companies to outsource for recruitment, for talent and all that. So they got about five new guys for this, for separate tech roles, like social media management, front end designer, graphics designer, and I think back end or thereabouts. So these four guys were employed, and you would not believe, after a month they were laid off. They all lied in the CV. And funny enough, they passed the interview, but it was time for them to show workings. They couldn't. So we had to recruit again. So the resources that was invested in that recruitment process was just off. So Nigerians honestly rely a lot in our CV. And I had to start debunking on X. Why would you be asking them to just put in everything they can't do in their CV just for them to get the job? And at the end of the day, they get laid off. It's not good. Stop encouraging them to fill in what they can do. Just advise them not to jump the process. Learn. I had, I think, three certificates of internship. And till now, I've not gotten a real like direct tech, although I'm working with an electrical and engineering company right now, which is also affiliated with technology, which is Tech, right? You cannot jump the process. If you jump the process, you are still going to go back. I have real-time experience. Like I've developed during my internship with two different firms. We've developed softwares that helped in navigating hotel patients and doctors relationship, and booking of appointment with doctor. Then also we used assembly AI. You know, I think this was around 2021. That ChatGPT was not rampant as at then, so we had to use assembly AI to write this. So what I am trying to say in a nutshell is you need to have the knowledge, the experience, you need to have the background. So you don't just write whatever you think you can do in the CV. No, you write what you know you can do, what you can actually do, and what you've done as proof or evidence. So this shouldn't just kind of lie in the CV. I was so disappointed seeing you announcing to your friends, acquaintance, your family that you've gotten a job. Then after a month, you are laid off. That doesn't speak well of you. So it's so disheartening. Yeah, that's it.
Well, I like that you mentioned that you had certifications because that's the next question. I but certifications or experience, which one would you do?
Well, do you know that experience is certification itself?
True.
Because there's evidence of what you've done. Certificates also imply that you went through the training. But however, now, since it is virtual based, you can get certificates while sleeping, you know. So I would advise, instead of picking certificates over experience, if you are provided the options, right, pick experience. That will go a long way.
Well, if you learn with places like Amdo or SEER, you can't get certification without doing the work because for you to graduate and get certified, there is a project you have to complete. If you're unable to, no matter how much you paid, no certificate for you because when you carry that stamp of we that this person has completed their work with us. We want to say yes, they completed their work. So if you did not complete it, you're not going to get certification. But I understand your plan as to how people can just be resting and not taking things seriously and just get the certification and keep on going. And I also share in your opinion that your experience matters. Yes, certification matters. Might get the door open for you for your experience if you there.
Absolutely.
Would you say it is better to be skilled in a lot of things or to be on like is it better to be highly skilled in one thing or to be so that you know a little thing everything or you just pick one and stick to it? Which one would you pick?
Well, you can. you cannot be good at everything. So you need to pick one. That's just it. Now, if you are averagely good at back end, front end, graphics design, then the software architectural and the structural design, and product management, right? You're averagely good at all this. But then there's a particular guy who is good at just back end. When there's need for true project work, they are not going to call you, because at the end of the day, they would see you with the UI, see you with the UI UX, see you with the back end, see you with the product team, see you with the front end. At the end of you won't have a base. You just have to pick one stronghold. You can see a young lad very, very good at just back end. You can see a young lad just good with assembly AI, like the language that communicates with hardware itself. But he is not good with other languages. But then, however, these sections are essential to the tech ecosystem. You just have to pick one. You can't be good, but then I can't fault whomever is good, averagely good at all, because the country, you just have to try everything out. That's how the country has wired us. You just have to try this, try that. Then whichever one you see it's paying as at that moment, then you try to major on that. But then my advice is just kind of pick one, regardless. If you are patient enough and you are doing it diligently, of course, it's going to pay, but it's just a matter of time. It takes patience, honestly. Well, that's it. Just pick one and be good at it. Don't be good here, good here, good there. Averagely good across all, but you're not good. Like, that's not advisable. Pick one and be good at it.
I like that. So you've heard it here. Pick one. Be good. So what they I know you've mentioned, I know that an exam was being,
Sorry,
but
yeah, it's skipping.
can you hear me?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So I was saying, I know that previously you referred to Nigerians, you joke about living in Australia, but as does where you live affect how much you earn? And so if you,
Does where I live affect how much I earn?
yeah, also
Absolutely.
really, can you
Absolutely.
explain?
Environment matters.
Mhm.
Environment is an important factor. Now, I've seen people complain on X several times that because they were Nigerians, they couldn't get the job. Because they were Nigerian, they couldn't get the job. Now, I'm going to give a real-time scenario of myself. I think I was still in 300 level. I had an interview with a tech company in Kenya. So I had passed all the three stages of interview. Then the last stage was the CEO himself and the guy that has been in the interview stages from stage 1 to 2 and 3. So his name is Christian, right? So he told me that the interview session we are going to have at that moment, the boss is not available and they had already scheduled the interview. So he told me that he is going to carry on the interview because he's been all along from stage 1. Then he said he's going to handle the interview. The boss is not around. But then he is going to send the link to the boss himself so he can go through the interview process and see if they can move to the next, like I can move to the maybe final stage or so. Then he said, oh, I initially suggested that, bro, can we just, let it be when is let's reschedule. The boy said, no, boss is so busy. And I knew I'd already lost the job. Now, this is not because I'm a Nigerian or whatsoever. Now, first stage of interview, second stage, third stage, we develop like a little relationship from via the email. Then we transfer to WhatsApp. Then I asked him, why did you think I didn't get the job? Then he said, because boss said the video is recorded session. It wasn't available, so it was not live. However, boss said, Nigerians. The white man told him that Nigerians. So meaning it might be doctored because he wasn't there live during the interview. So he said even though you know Nigerians, that means the video might be doctored, And I didn't even see reason to it. Not until you're asking this question, that's when it's down on me. You know Nigerians. That was what the man said. But I'm the kind of person that just keep believing that the right is so now flashing back, when you Nigerians to how long if I was to take my difference, you know, but then it's all good as far as I'm concerned. It's all good.
Um, that is quite sad to be honest, because I think the Nigerian, especially Nigerian youth, but it's sad and how annoying that can be as well. So for anybody who is thinking about getting into tech, have any advice?
Well, I will always keep saying it. Don't jump the process. No matter what you are learning, do not. You can't just go to the university, skip 200 level, skip 300 level, and resume back in 400 level that you need certificates. Of course, you must have missed something. You don't have to miss anything. If you do miss something, if by adventure you get the job, you still need to retrace back. You would have to learn them again. So you don't jump process, just be patient. I know it's not easy for Nigerians, the situation of the country, but however, there are still guys that are making it. So you just have to brace up and hope that you will break through. But don't jump process. Just keep learning, be consistent. Don't jump the process.
Thank you very much for that. You heard that, guys. Don't jump. I know you've kind of touched on this before when you were talking. I wanted you to expand more. As what do you start making money that makes sense in tech?
I think it was immediately I graduated.
Sorry, I didn't quite hear that. Can you repeat yourself, please?
That was around 2024. Immediately I graduated from the school.
So you are making tech money in 2024.
I just more money now.
That's nice. I like that for
Although
you.
it was with start of my friend's company, we just have to do something. Yeah.
Okay, so you started early uni, but in uni jobs and advise any students to do the same.
Wow. Honestly, Nigerian academic system, you just have to pick one. That's just the truth. But except you are excellent, like you are an exceptional student, that's when you can do both. Otherwise, you just have to pick one. You can't do academics and tech, honestly. That's mainly for exceptional students that can do tech and do school at the same time. I have a friend, Aaron. He was the best graduate in that department. I didn't know it was affecting me, honestly. Had dropped massively, So you can't just I've realized that you can't do both. You just have to pick one. But however, that doesn't mean you shouldn't just keep trying. Just keep trying. But you cannot do both at the same time. You just have to pick one.
Didn't you do both?
I did. And funny enough.
Many tips, many insights as somebody who is a student that did it. Do you have any
uh,
tips? Life hack.
Just if you know where you are coming from, of course, that should push you.
Mm.
Yeah, if you know where you're coming from, that should push you. That's alone is motivation for you.
Yeah.
So that's enough for that. If you know where you're coming from, then
Okay, I really like that. Thank you so much for joining once again, and thank you for
pleasure.
honoring the invitation. You guys don't forget to share, right? Also, tomorrow is the last day, so please comment, tag. We're on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, all the social media platforms. Just type in Amdoranalytics, okay? Amdo, you are analytics. You will find us. Just click, send us a message, say tech, and then we'll follow up there. Opportunity. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Titi. Thank you so much. Bye,
My
guys.
pleasure.
Bye,
My
Titi.
pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. See you some other time.
All right, bye.